Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about the mental pain of being overweight. I think this is one of those things that's really overlooked a lot of times, but is so important because we get so focused on we're not happy with how we look and we understand the emotional and the physical side of it. But what about the mental side? And when I talk about mental, specifically what I'm talking about is your internal dialogue, the way you talk about yourself, your beliefs about what you're able to accomplish, and ultimately your self-image or your identity, how you literally define yourself as a person, how they're all impacted by the weight. And so the first one is really the internal dialogue that you have. We are talking to ourselves all day long, constantly. And what we say to ourselves and the way we say it makes us feel a certain way. And so when you think about your weight, what do you say to yourself? Do you say positive, encouraging, supportive things in a nice way? Or are you beating yourself up? Are you mean to yourself? Are you putting yourself down? And the answer is probably obvious. And so we want to understand that a lot of your thinking day in and day out is negative, specifically because of the weight. So that's one of the biggest mental negative pains that you're experiencing directly. The next thing is the beliefs that you have. If you haven't been able to be successful with the weight, you may start to believe that you're not able to stick to things. You have no self-control. You have no willpower. You can't do things. And because you're struggling in one area with your weight, sometimes that can spiral out and start to affect how you think and what you're capable of doing in other areas of your life as well. And it becomes a real weight and an anchor for you to achieve the things you want to achieve in other areas of your life. Again, if you're anchored weight wise to all this negativity, it starts to bleed out into other areas of your life as well, typically. And finally, the biggest one of all probably is your self image, how you define yourself as a person. And it takes all these other things into account. And so if you've been struggling with your weight for a while, it's not just defining yourself as an overweight person, it's defining yourself as out of control, addicted to sugar, no willpower, no self-control. I'm a person who can't make changes, can't stick to something. And we get a lot meaner than that with ourselves when we're talking to ourselves. But if we start to create and believe this self-image, this limited self-image, then it really starts to impact every area of our life. A lot of times, the most important relationships in your life are negatively impacted because of these beliefs that you have and this internal dialogue and the self-image that you've created. If your work's important, that's affected. Whatever areas of your life are important to you, they're usually negatively affected by this because you're constantly thinking about all the negative stuff in terms of your weight. And it becomes a real anchor in your life. So I don't say this, obviously it doesn't feel good to reflect on this stuff, but I say it so that you have a chance of really approaching your weight with the amount of focus, energy, and commitment that it requires and deserves. Because this area of your life is much bigger than just not liking how you look. It's literally impacting every area of your life because it's always one of the main things that you're constantly focusing on in a negative way. You're defining yourself in this negative way. So this is really kind of a way to focus on this and don't get lost in the pain of this. Instead, use it as an opportunity to say, I really need to make the commitment to really put my health, my weight front and center. Because if you flip all this, then you get the pleasure. You get the flip side of this where you start to believe in yourself. If I can do this with my weight, I can do it in other areas of my life. You start having more positive tapes running through your mind that support you in the other areas of your life because you start to believe in yourself, and it's a more encouraging, supportive voice you develop in your mind, and everything gets a bit better beyond even just the weight loss. So I hope this helps you out. And if you want to go deeper into this process of being able to really understand your mind and use it to master your weight, make sure you click the link in my bio, go get the free hypnosis session, watch the video I made for you, and I hope that that helps you out along your journey to mastering your weight. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. What's up, Jen? Hi, Jim. Happy autumn. Yes, happy autumn to you. It was I was thinking to get one of those with WWJD bracelets. What would Jim do? That's so funny. Yes. We do that in the program actually. That's I remember that being a big thing back in the day, that what would Jesus do? It was bumper stickers, all the rest of it. And then program yourself. Then one of those things we talk about is what would the thin me do? But that's funny. I know a lot of people do hear my voice in their head, and that's what I'm here for. I'm very intentionally doing that. I want to be kind of a surrogate, positive, encouraging voice in your mind to help you, get the results you're looking for. Because a lot of people try and do this with a very, very negative voice in their head. And it's really hard, if you're used to the voice, you've internalized it, and you've had it in your head for so long that you're just kind of used to it. But if you take a step back and really consider how damaging a really negative voice in your life can be, it's pretty profound, right? If you think about, growing up with someone and they're constantly putting you down, and every time you try and do something better, they're there attacking you and saying it's not going to last. You're never going to be able to do it. Like, that's an awful situation. And yet, when you are trying to lose weight, you have that negative voice right there the whole time. And again, it is just constantly focusing on the negative, pointing out the mistakes you make, maximizing any errors. It's almost impossible, So this is why with Program Yourself Thin, a core part of changing your weight is changing your mindset, changing how you speak to yourself, changing how you think, what you think, how what you say to yourself and how you say it. And what we're looking to do is create a much more encouraging, supportive voice in your mind, um, to help kind of guide you along this way rather than that negative voice. I know a lot of people that listen here are perfectionists and love that negative voice because you think it's helping you out and pushing you to do well. But when it comes to weight, the negative voice in your head really not very supportive. I can promise you that. Hey, Marcy, how's it going? So yeah. So anyways, that's a big part of Program Yourself Then, is really changing that voice in your head into something that is much more encouraging and supportive. And is my goal partly to be that voice in your head, initially, because there's a good chance you've never had a positive voice in your head. There's a good chance when it comes to weight, you've never had anyone really support you, you know, very common. It's hard. A lot of people themselves are struggling with weight. So how are they going to support you? What's up, Cindy? How's it going? Hope you're all having a nice day today. I'm having a great day. Went to the Big E last night. Saw my friend Shireen. Couldn't believe it. So that was fun. But yeah, went to the fair. Food's grosser than ever there. It's really, really out of control. It's a crazy world out there. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Those is there anything better than a fall fair? Especially for me. I grew up in that where it is. I don't know if anyone's in the New England area, but the Big E is a pretty big fair. I forget I don't know if it's one of the biggest ones in New England. It's certainly up there, if not the biggest. But that was where I grew up in West Springfield there. So it was always fun to go back because I've been going there my whole life. It's like a lot of memories. But anyways, yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I hope you're all having a nice fall. I find fall's funny. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people kind of click right off. It's so crazy. You can watch it like clockwork. I've been doing this so long. You can see so many people with their weight just click off when September gets here. It's so crazy. And it's this idea, it's fall and warm foods and Halloween's coming and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Well, then it's the New Year thing. And I respect all of you who don't do that, because again, it's there's Shireen. Yeah, that was so crazy. So that was awesome. That was fun. So yeah, so it's like, you can't do that, folks. You can't do the all or nothing thing. And we really want to work on that. A big part of the process is becoming all or something, always staying engaged to some degree, no matter the situation. And if you do that, it's a game changer because it's very difficult to get like way off track and then just think you're just going to get right back on track. That's not how it works. Typically, when you get way off track and you try and get back on track, it feels really overwhelming and you can't keep it up. And, you fall back off track. So there it is. What's up, Christelle? But yeah, if anyone's having weight issues, I mean, obviously you're thinking about it. So if you're having any weight questions, things you're struggling with, feel free to ask them. That's what I get out here for. I love being on these lives. I'm usually on here Monday through Friday and love to give you my take on weight loss, because I can't promise that it'll be the right one, but I can promise you it'll be a different one than you typically hear. I can promise you that I'll give you a different perspective than the dieting one that most people have, because The dieting one, oh, good Lord, right? You don't even realize why it's so bad, or you may not even realize it's bad. Some people get on here and defend dieting, but um, it's no good for a bunch of reasons. So if you're struggling to lose weight, I can almost guarantee you most of it is because you have this diet or mindset that you're trapped in. And so much of losing weight and then living at your goal weight is about changing the way you think about your weight, about food, about your lifestyle, about the whole process, to be honest. But one thing's for sure, if you continue to think the same way and do the same things, you're most likely going to continue to get the same results. So if I can urge you to do anything different, it's kind of just to urge you to start exploring different ways to think about your weight, as opposed to the dieting thing. And it's not always the easiest thing to do, because it's hard to think in new ways. So that's literally why I get out here to talk to you all and just show you and share with you a different way to approach all this. What's up, Connie? How's it going, Connie? You being a calm monk these days? Or I know you got school and kids. Oh my goodness. It gets easier. My kid's in college. There's little moments of sadness when she's not here, but overall it's kind of easier. I don't know. It's just, so there's always good and bad. Everything's good and bad, but I know when you got a bunch of little kids, man, school time is intense stuff. So I hope you're staying calm and relaxed. And yeah, so he says it's dreary and rainy here in Pennsylvania. I have the blahs and want to eat. Okay, let's talk about that, because that's so common. And at the end of the day, we live in an environment, in a society that really conditions us to use food as our main emotional management strategy. Right? So really, whether we're celebrating or whether we're dealing with negative emotions, typically we aim right at the food. And so that's not unusual, Cindy. But what we want to do is want to recognize that and realize that the answer is not really, when you got the blahs, the answer is not to just not eat. That's a bit of the answer, but it's not the real answer. The real answer is, how do I feel better? you the emotional eating is not the core problem. Right? It doesn't matter what the emotional eating is based on. It could be, I'm depressed, so I'm eating. I'm lonely, so I'm eating. I'm stressed out and I'm freaking out, so I'm eating. Whatever the emotion is that leads to the emotional eating is just a symptom of a deeper problem. And so we want to go to the deeper problem and deal directly with that. So if we got the blahs, the food the food can help distract you for a little bit. Right? So you're feeling not that great. I'm going to eat something. And again, the way the food's like entertainment now. It's not just food anymore. I mean, geez, you can make an argument it's not even food, but anyways, it's definitely entertainment as well. We want to be stimulated, entertained by our food. And so it's easy to use it to distract us when we're not feeling great emotionally. And so, we have to realize, though, that if you have the blahs and you end up eating today, you will not feel less blah-like. You'll feel more blah-like. So we've got to recognize that, or else we're doomed to be stuck in this forever loop, where we keep thinking, that to me, that's addiction in a sense, is that the thing that's causing us the most pain, we think is causing us pleasure. That's kind of my definition of addiction. And so a lot of times if you're struggling with the food, it's like you think it's really pleasurable, but when you zoom out, you realize, holy shit, that's the thing that's causing the most pain in life. So anyways, for you, Cindy, the question isn't, I wouldn't spend all my time trying not to eat. I would spend my time saying, what's something I can do that make me feel, well, first of all, what do you want to feel, right? So if I'm feeling blah, what do I want to feel? And that's, everyone's got a different answer for that. So I can't tell you like what that answer would be for you. I know what it is for me, but it's like, I want to feel more stimulated. I want to feel connected. I want to feel loved. I want to feel like I'm doing something interesting. I want to go on an adventure, whatever. We start there and then we say, okay, and now what's a way I can actually do that? What opportunity do I have today to do something interesting, to do something that's actually stimulating, like genuinely? Because the food's not genuinely stimulating. It is in a moment, don't get me wrong. But when we have this emotional issue, the food is not resolving it. It's not genuinely dealing with the problem. If you're lonely, eating a pint of ice cream didn't fix the problem at all. It distracted you from it for a little while. And so you felt a little better while you were doing that. But 6 seconds after you take that last bite, you're right back to feeling lonely and now guilty and ashamed as well. And so Once you start viewing it that way, I think that it's more accurate, and I think it sets you up to move forward in a more dramatic way. So, anyways, Connie said, I add a vibration plate to my nighttime ritual. It's so weird, but I like it. What the hell is a vibration plate? You guys teach me so much. What's a vibration plate? Vibration plate. Okay. Let's see. Oh, your nighttime ritual. Okay. So it vibrates back and forth. It's an exercise machine. Okay. What do? Just like put your feet on it? Or I see people putting their hands on it, put people's foot on it. I've never heard of that. That is cool. Yeah, great. Good for you, Connie. I love it. And again, sometimes I say this all the time to you guys, right? That and especially you, Connie. Connie's in the program, but it's like sometimes you just stumble on stuff. You know what I mean, as well. So that's really interesting. I never even heard of one of those. Betty says, I'm so impatient. I can't wait to lose this weight. Why does it take so long? Again, the impatience, I get it. I totally get it. We're all impatient by nature to some degree. And then we're way conditioned to be super impatient when it comes to weight loss. The diet culture has made us so impatient because the impatience is probably the main reason people quit. So it's very important for the diet industry to install impatience into you, right? Because that's why you quit most of the time, isn't it? You don't get results fast enough and you quit. So, you can start by saying I'm impatient, but then it becomes, again, we can't just accept I'm impatient. I'm crazy. I'm impatient. It's like, we can't just accept that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's so much of what this approach is all about, that a lot of the things you believe and have accepted about yourself are a bunch of bullshit. And you have to question them, and you have to start articulating, how do I want to feel? Is there more to me than just being impatient? Is there any way I could think about this differently so that I felt more calm? Is there anything in my life I'm patient with? So it's asking better questions gets you better strategies and solutions. But yeah, the more impatient you are, the more likely you are to all fail. What can I tell you? It's like that with anything. The more impatient you are, you suck up all your energy into being impatient instead of dedicating that energy to fixing the problem. And then on top of that, you get a real weird way of looking at things when you're super impatient. You experience time distortion, right? The more impatient you are, the slower time feels like it's moving. And so you start a diet and you start eating better, and like a day feels like a week feels like a month. And so it's like, it's only been a week, but it feels like a month. And then you step on the scale. Oh my God, I've only lost a pound. This could take forever. But you have to understand you're in a heightened state of impatience, and so you're not experiencing things accurately. So impatience has got to be dealt with straight on if you want to really lose weight. But most people don't. Again, that's why diets exist, because people are impatient. And so diets just make you these bullshit promises, and people believe them, and they don't work. And then you just keep repeating the cycle forever. So impatience is a trap. And yeah, if you don't believe that, let me know. Keep chasing the short-term thing. So I get it, Betty, but why does it take so long? I mean, what takes long anyways? Again, it's the difference between looking at weight loss and looking at weight mastery. And I know you're all just so conditioned. I just want to lose the weight. I just want to lose the weight. It's that mindset that keeps you stuck. I mean, and not only that, but here's another way to look at it. It's like, how long you've been living overweight. I work with people, they've been overweight for 30, 40 years, and then they're upset that it's taken 2 months and they haven't lost enough weight. It's like the time scale is just way off here. you know. But anyways, I know what you're saying, but I know everyone feels that way. Shereen says, I split a barbecue, pulled pork, grilled cheese, and the Sunday so good I had parties and special occasions all weekend. Slight gain, but back to a regular food. Stepped on the scale. Time to pay the piper. Good for you, Shereen. I'm proud of you for facing it. I think that's really important because, and I will tell you what'll happen with Shireen here is that she had kind of an outlier week. I'm having an outlier week. Okay. So it's like I had the fair yesterday. I got my shoulder surgery coming up. That's kind of freaking me out this past weekend. I got my 50th birthday coming up this weekend. So it's kind of parties and different situations to eat, stuff coming up. So it's definitely an outlier week eating wise. But I recognize it as such. And so I'm not really looking at weight loss mode, but if I was, I would step on the scale because I want to know what the effects of a outlier week is on me. I'm not afraid of the scale is what I'm saying, I guess. And neither is Shireen. It is fine. It's time to pay the piper, but it's really just recognizing cause and effect. Those of you that weigh yourself once again, I'm not telling you use a scale or not use a scale because I know y'all freak out about it, but it's like if you weigh yourself every day, the scale becomes kind of like the speedometer of your car, where you just use it for data, and you start to understand how your body responds when you overdo it for a week. Because right now, you guys are just living all up in your head and your emotions, and your brain's blowing it out of proportion. So you have a week, oh my God, I ate a pizza last night. And it's like, no, I'm 10 pounds heavier. And it's like your fucking mind is just all over the place. You're living in a fun house. You know, like the fun house mirrors, you ever walk in those? And it's like everything looks funny. And you're like, oh, look, I'm 8 feet tall. You're not really 8 feet tall. It's like, oh my God, look at me. I'm 8 feet wide. You're not really 8 feet wide. And it's like you guys are living in this fun house in your head of just drastic exaggerations of what the calories are, what they're not, what the weight impact's going to be. And you're all over the place emotionally. And how do you think that affects your eating and your weight ultimately? So again, Shireen, what she's doing with the scale is she's staying grounded in reality. Reality. That was, I will tell you more often than not, using the scale every day, what I learned from it, I learned a couple things that are really important. One was that I realized it takes me about 2 weeks of eating differently for the weight to show up consistently in the scale, and that's plus or minus. So I start eating more, it takes about 2 weeks for it to start showing up higher. I start eating better and lower my calories. It takes about 2 weeks for the weight to go down a little bit consistently. So that's one really important thing I've learned that's really been foundationally crucial for me to understand. The other piece is that a lot of times when I thought, oh my God, I've been eating like shit, I'm going to be 10 pounds heavier, I'm going to be 5 pounds heavier, I didn't gain any weight at all. And so it was very sobering in a good way. And then when I did overdo it, and then the weight did start going up, I want to know the truth. It's very difficult to lose weight when you're so scared of what the scale is going to say, because you're just in this emotional roller coaster. So anyways, a big part of programming yourself then is learning how to deal with, manage the emotions that go along with weight. And, it's the same thing. I run a business. I've been running my own business for 20 years, and it's, hey, guess what? It's the same thing. It's emotional. It's up and down. It's uncertain. It's all the same thing. So it's kind of a lot of things in life, what you're doing, you have to be able to manage the emotions somewhat. In order to manage emotions, you need to manage the mindset. But anyway, Shireen, great job. Because again, Shireen's in the program, so I can hear it when she's talking, because there's a specificity about what she's saying. She knows exactly what she's been doing because it's outlier stuff. Because in Program Yourself, then we have a structured eating plan, how we typically eat. And so all of a sudden it's outlier stuff. It stands out and you're aware of it. I could do the same thing. I could list all the outlier things I've done over the last week that aren't normal for me. I know what they are. So I'm very, very aware of them. I'm not blowing, oh my God, I've been eating terrible all week. It's not that. I can specifically tell you what I've done. And so Shireen, she's got it all, it's very specific, and she's stepping on the scale. So she's grounded in reality. Whether that scale goes up or down, she knows how to manage her emotions. So she's calm. She knows she's going to get back on track, and it's going to come right off. Because that's the other thing you learn from the scale, is that if you eat normal 80% of the time, and then you have a vacation, you go away for a vacation, you eat more, you come back from vacation, you're a couple pounds up, and then you go back to eating how you normally do. Guess what? You come back down. That part is so important. I find it so fascinating that a lot of the dieters, when they first get in the program, are so shocked by this. But again, it's because you dieters have such a negative mindset. Dieters are the most negative people on the planet, mindset wise, because you this thing like, oh, well, walk by ice cream, I'll gain weight. Nope, that's not how that works. And it's like, I know it's jokes. I know it's lots of jokes, but it's very unhelpful and it's very confusing. And so a lot of you dieters, again, you've no idea really how to lose weight. That's why you're scared of the scale anyways. It's not even so much what it's going to say. It's that it reveals the fact that you don't know what you're doing. That you don't really know how to lose weight. You don't know how to get yourself to eat better. Oh, what the shit? Dog's a pain in the ass under my desk, messing everything up. Anyways, great job, Shireen. I just said you'll just feel worse after the entertainment. Find something better to do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you don't feel well, go find a better way to do it. Again, hey, use the food sometimes. That happens. We all do that. But don't let that the emotional eating of a dieter is just like the constant trap, right? It's just like everything's so great, and then I get stressed and I eat everything. It's like, okay, is that as deep as we're going with that? Figure it out. What's up, Julie? Carter says, powerful thing that we think is giving us pleasure is actually causing the pain. That is powerful, isn't it? I think about that all the time. That's really helped me in a lot of things in my life, that the things we define, that's how I define addiction. Maybe I read that somewhere, but it's, I really, really have internalized that. And in a lot of areas of my life, that the thing I think of addiction as, yeah, the thing that's causing us pain, we think it's pleasurable. And we're wrapped up in that reality, but it ain't true. Heather loves food. How's it going? I had to get weighed at the doctor's yesterday and I didn't expect this at all, but I literally started crying afterwards. Still not sure why, because I knew my weight, but yeah, it was overwhelming. Yeah. I mean, Heather, it's funny, like your handle, it's like I would never have that handle if I cared about my weight. The handle's Heather loves food, haha. Like that's what I mean. Like stop doing that. Like it's just you're sending your subconscious mind all mixed messages and it's confusing you and it's getting you stuck. You all do this if you're dieters, but I'm just letting you know, Heather. And I feel bad. It's hard. The doctor's office is hard because it's black and white. It's official. It's certified, right? So I think I certainly, that was, it was, I've told you this, but I lost 50 pounds 30 years ago, kept it off 13 years ago. I put like 25 pounds on and I knew it. I knew like, I was talking about the scale. I was avoiding the scale because I knew I was putting weight on. And so I knew my eating was out of control. Life was going bonkers. I just had a brand new baby who didn't sleep well. We moved into a new house. We're completely redoing, running my business. There was a lot of stress. But my eating, I kind of let it go in that time. And it wasn't until I finally went to the doctors and I stepped on that scale and I was like, holy shit. And so I know the doctor's thing and I know scales it's very definitive and that's why we avoid it. But on the flip side of it, it's usually from moments like that a lot of times we finally make a real decision and commitment to change things too. Because otherwise, I always call it like, I don't know if y'all know, like Schrodinger's box, it's kind of a philosophical concept that if you got a box with a cat in it, it's like, you don't know if it's alive or dead until you open the box. And so in that moment, it's both at the same time, right? It's both potentials. It's alive and dead at that time until you open the box and then it's one thing. And so a lot of you are doing that with the scale, right? I call it Schrodinger's scale. I should make a video on that actually. Schrodinger's scale. You don't want to step on the scale because until you do, there's still the chance that you didn't really put the weight on. But that state of being where you're just thinking you put the weight on is worse. Like it really is. That dual reality is bullshit. 'Cause it's one or the other, and you know that, and you're living in this undefined reality. You live in a fantasy in your head, and it's not a positive one. So I'm a big believer in the scale regularly. I know people, oh, I can't do it. Yeah, because you don't know how to manage your emotions. So if you don't know how to manage your emotions, I guess avoidance is maybe a great strategy. But I'd rather be able to work on my emotions, which is why I love the scale personally. Like the scale for me wasn't just to see what my weight was. The thing I like the most about the scale is it really brought the subconscious emotions right to the front and then I could deal with them. So it's like, I don't know, like to me, I mean, I'm just built different. I don't know, but I don't want to have a big box of emotions that I'm trying to like keep locked away. And that's what like not stepping on the scale is to me. Because why wouldn't you want data? You're not scared to look at your speedometer, are you? Because you know how to speed and slow the car up. But the scale, again, it's not that you're scared of the weight. It's that it reveals that you really have no idea how to change your weight. You don't know how to change your weight. What do you want from me? I forget people lately say, hey, Jim, you're too negative. It's like, I don't know. I am positive. Like I really am. I'm very, very supportive, encouraging my clients, but the diet thing, and I support everyone, but the diet mentality, it's hard to be positive with it. You know what I mean? That's what I think people want. They want me to be like supportive about diets, but it's a big old crock of shit. You're not an idiot. Why do you think you've failed to lose weight? Do you think it's because you're a loser and you're stupid and you have no willpower and you have no self-control? That's can't be it, because look at your fucking life. Look at the other areas of your life and you're successful and you exhibit self-control and willpower and ambition and the ability to take action and the ability to stick to things. So, you know what I mean? Like you can't define yourself as this loser who can't do anything and can't stick to stuff because that's bullshit. Yeah, other areas of your life it doesn't show up there the same way. Right? So it can't be that it's you are the main problem. The main problem is the fucking diet that you're trying to follow. Yeah. Is it possible? Is it possible that could be the case? That it's really not you? That it's not because you're lazy? It's not because you have no willpower? It's because you keep trying to follow the diets? That 95% of people fail on diets. So when something fails 95% of the time, how are you saying it's your fault? Right? I just don't get this part. That's the part of being a dieter I don't understand. It's so crazy. Try to give you a new word. Oh, entertainment. I like that. Yeah, that's kind of what it is, right? Entertainment. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even read that. Yeah. I'm glad you pointed that out, Jen. That's it. Yeah, entertainment. That is a great word. I might put that in a video. That's so good, Jen. I'm glad you pointed that out to me because you ever, well, I don't know if you guys ever seen this. It's really cool. Don't spell corrected, spell checker. That if you take words and you just keep the first and the last letter the same and just mix all the letters in the middle up, your brain knows what the words are. It's crazy stuff. But anyway, that's what I did. What's up, Kelly? Kelly says my weight goes up after a bit after pleasure days, then drops back during the week. But overall, the trend on the scale Monday morning is slowly downwards. Feels good. Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, there you see, and Kelly's in the program, but you're seeing in the way she's even speaking that there's a patience there. You know what I mean? Like there's a patience with the whole thing, which is so crucial. What in your life? Listen, because here I go. I can't help it. You dieters aren't really committed. Ugh, what do you want? What do you want from me to say? I can't keep it in. You dieters are not committed most of the time. You're not really motivated. You're not really committed. I just can't not say it because it's true. And it's not your fault. It's the diet. The diets have fucking brainwashed you. You think like a dieter. No one loses weight on diets long term. You're stuck in a mental prison. It's a cult. Call it a diet cult if you. I don't know how you have to think about it, but it's not you. It's the way you're thinking about weight loss. It's that you think like a dieter. And so dieters, everything's got to be instant, and you're not really committed because imagine you took your weight really seriously for a second because you don't. Most of you don't really take it serious. You have flings, right? You have flings. You dabble with it, right? Because how long are you sticking with your diets? Come on. And I don't blame you because the diets suck. So I don't blame you for not sticking with them. But let's be honest. And so we need to, what's something you're actually committed to? Your kids, your partner, your work, right? Your personal development, right? These are things you're probably like truly committed to. And your behavior reflects that. You show up every day, you wake up at a certain time, you go to work when you know what I mean? You do all the things you have to do because you value those things. And then there's your weight. And your weight's kind of like, oh, ice cream. Yum, yum, yum. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's such a little, it really is. Because you think about it all day long. So it's like I think a lot of you dieters confuse. Oh, I think about weight all day. I think about losing weight all day long. I think about it all the time. Well, so what? Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't matter. It's what you're actually committed to. And most dieters aren't really committed. And the reason you're not really committed is you undervalue what it is. You think about weight loss mainly as looking better. And it's actually a lot more than that. Anyways, all right. Heather says, I thought choosing this name would be better to not be obsessed with food in a way. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it made sense. I get you, Heather. Hey, whatever works for you. I'm happy for you. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't. I mean, I love food too, but I don't know if I want to lose weight. I don't want to. But like, I deal with procrastination sometimes with myself. I'm like, Jim loves procrastinating. I don't know, but anyways, each their own. Yeah, eating is a habit and a hobby. Oh, agreed. I think it's absolutely a hobby. I think that's the perfect way to think about it for a lot of people. Eating is literally like a hobby, Heather says, I've been eating salads literally every day, like if not for lunch, then for dinner. And I guess I was just shocked in a way at the doc that I hadn't lost any. Yeah, but I mean, how long? I see, and people do this all the time. And I'm curious, Heather, and be honest with me. Come on. I've been eating salads literally every day, like if not for lunch, then for dinner. Okay. How many days though? Like how long you been doing that for? Honestly, be really accurate and honest with me. Okay. Because I need to know that. You know what I mean? Cindy says, I know if I start snacking, picking, I won't stop and will binge. Yeah, absolutely. If you're in a bad mood and you start snacking and picking, you're going to keep on eating and binging and eating. I mean, absolutely. Oh yeah, Connie says, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, the Dorito effect. Yeah, for sure. I know. Looking for those better chickens, right? What are they called? The rock chickens or something? Rock chicken. Those sound like way better. What's up, Jim? Kind of something like that. Jim, don't look and judge me. I'm not using it for weight loss, but relaxation. I'm not. I literally never heard of it. So it just looks like it vibrates. But I saw a lady like almost doing push-ups on it or something. Is that what's it do? Like just like a. Oh, maybe it's like a what's that? Like the massage gun. You know, kind of lets your muscles relax. What's up, Mario? It's this weird whole body vibration plate you stand on. Absolutely a gimmick for weight loss, but it's oddly relaxing. That's fine, Connie. I get it. As long as, if you're like, oh, no, Jim, it's going to help me lose weight, then I'd be judging probably, honestly. But no, I get it. Yeah, if it's something that I could see that. I could see like, I fidget a lot. I'm kind of jiggly, so it's like, I could see how that would, it soothes me. I find it very soothing. So I could definitely see that. So that's great. And again, who gives a shit? If it relaxes you, that's all that matters, Christelle says, Jim, it's that one impulse buying 5 chocolate bars. Oh, I get it. I get it. Yeah. But it's funny. I mean, it's funny because I was at the fair yesterday and I was paying attention to like what it's like for me now. And it's like I'm just so much more calm and relaxed with it all. Like I don't really have impulse situations very often anymore, And again, that's just a consequence. In Program Yourself, then we have like the redo rehearsal technique, and we use that every night. And I've been doing that for so long now that like it's very rare that like I'm not prepared for a situation, if that makes sense, and prepared to like go like to thrive in it. So it's like when I go to the fair, I'm not there like a dieter. I was thinking that I'm like, I'm not going to the fair and be like, okay, I can't eat that. Just don't eat that. Just don't eat, don't do it. Like there's none of that. It's kind of like, what do I like the most? What do I want to eat here? How do I want to feel? How do I want to go through this fair? How do I feel when I leave here? And so I'm just kind of calm and relaxed the whole time. I don't know. Wasn't always that way. I don't know. Like it was, I don't know. I've never binge crazy there, but I definitely, most of the time in my life when I've left a biggie, I've left feeling like shit, and I don't know. I didn't feel like $1,000,000. I'm not saying I felt like $1,000,000 last night, but I didn't feel, I feel fine-ish, for a night where I kind of overdid it with the food. Yeah, Julie says, I do better if I don't bring the snack food, junk food into the house. Well, no shit, everyone. You all know that, right? First line of defense is don't let it in the house. I mean, if you bring it in the house, it's so you can eat it. And I will let you know, here's a little trick for you all. This was a great one we had from a coaching call last week because someone was really, they were, you always have programming to do stuff. I know you all are like, you all think about like, oh, I just want to eat everything and I have to stop myself. But you're generating the desire to eat this stuff first too. Okay. And so this client was saying, well, there's these cookies and they're only 100 calories. And I have the ability, I can just eat one of them and I'm done, one a night and I'm good. It's okay. That is a superpower. To eat just one and to be done. That is unusual and that's great. You can do it. But I'm like, it's still 100 calories. But it's like in her mind, it's like, that's only 100 calories. And 100 calories isn't that much. Okay. But I said, hey, what's the whole calorie count of the bag? So look, 3,500 calories. That feels different, doesn't it? See, our brain can frame things in certain ways. And the way we frame them is going to dictate how we feel about them and ultimately how we behave with them. And so if I look at a bag of cookies and I go, oh, it's only 100 calorie a cookie and I can eat only one cookie a day. And we say, oh, what's the big deal? It's 100 calories. But if we look at the bag we buy from the store and bring home, it's 3,500 calories. It's a pound. So again, it's all about the way that we perceive things. You know what I mean? So yeah, bringing the junk food into the house, a lot of you are convincing yourself what you're doing is you're diluting it. This is a sales technique. It's called reduce to the ridiculous. And so you're taking a 3,500 calorie bag of bullshit into your house and you're going to eat it and put it in your body, but you're telling yourself it's only 100 calories. Those feel a lot different, don't they? It's the same thing, right? But you experience them differently. This is hypnosis in a nutshell, by the way. This is real hypnosis. Real hypnosis is how you think about things on a subconscious level. Might be valuable for you to learn that, right? Because your conscious understanding of stuff ain't helping so great, right? Why do you do this stuff that you know you shouldn't consistently? I'll let you know. It's because of the way you think about it. right? So if you think, oh, the cookie's no big deal, it's just a 100-calorie cookie. Or this is 3,500 calories of cookies I'm bringing into my house I'm going to eat this month, you know? So again, it's up to you. You know what I mean? The way we think about things. And I'm not saying don't eat the cookies, by the way. It's up to every person to decide what they want to do. I'm just saying that the way we frame things has a huge impact on how we ultimately, end up interacting with them. Yeah, sure. He says there's a lot of cigarettes or gross food at the fair. Yeah, I like to call them food cigarettes. I mean, it's like food, like I'm not going to say the words because I get banned every time I say drug references here, but yeah, it's like beyond even cigarettes. It's like, freebase food. It's just so crazy, like fried sticks of butter. But listen, hey, have fun with the food. So I'm not the food police. Hey, knock yourselves out. But it is funny. Like a lot of it, it's really, that's what it is. So it says, Lord, please grant me patience and hurry. That's what it's like, right? Just said, oh my God, wait, Jim, my birthday is this week too. What date is it for you? Oh my God, you're the 28th, Jim. I'm the 27th. Jesus, Jim. We are long lost. Like, this is so weird, dude. We have some parallel timeline is connecting us in the universe. It is so crazy, isn't it? And he says, the scale's always honest. I've been weighing daily since starting PYT. Yeah, great job, Cindy. And I know it's not the easiest thing all the time. I get that, but it's real. Don't you want to be in the real world, folks? I know it's not always the pleasant thing, but and by the way, though, I don't know, Joan's not here today, but Joan's in the program. And so she's like, she was freaking out and she's feeling down. She's like, I haven't stepped on the scale in 2 weeks and my eating hasn't been good. And I feel like I put all this weight on and I can't do it. I can't look and I can't look and I'm no. And I said, what if you just stepped on it? You didn't gain any weight. Would you feel any different if you stepped on it, you didn't gain any weight? And she's like, yeah, of course. This is, you don't know though. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like you're just living in this not knowing land. It's a horrible place to be because it just gives all your space for your mind to wander and reflect on all the bullshit that may or may not be. I'd rather know I put 5 pounds. I'm like, okay, that's what it is. Let's move on. It's, so I don't know. Yeah. I think the scale, again, I'm not telling you to use it because that people have successfully lost weight without using the scale. But I am saying if you're going to use the scale, I would suggest using it every day. And I do like using the scale. Best practices, again, go to the weight registry study. If you go to the weight registry study, it's a database of thousands of people that have successfully lost weight and kept it off for at least 2 years. And they poll them on different things they've done. And I forget the numbers, I'm blanking on them, but I thought it was like 80% weighed themselves every day. That also means 20% didn't. So that's what I'm saying. There's never like one rule for everyone, but what I am saying is the best practices, people that get the best results are weighing themselves every day. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. So Heather says, I think for about 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, you've been eating a salad and you haven't lost any weight, So, listen, but we all got to deal with that at some point, right? Because, yeah, no, I get that. I get what you're saying, Heather. And okay, I know it's not a lot, but still, I totally get that because that becomes the conversation. Listen, if you're on TikTok, give me some hearts. If you ever had a situation with your weight loss that you started making better decisions, you started eating better, whatever that may be, legit eating better. In 2-3 weeks, a month and a half goes by and you didn't lose as much weight as you thought you were going to, or any at all. And you start getting in your head and it starts becoming obsessive thought. Oh my God, what the fuck? What? I mean, I don't need to lose a lot, but none. I haven't lost any. A pound? What? How's this possible? And that happens. And then you get yourself so discouraged and confused and distraught that you quit. But I tell you this, and I will say it, that weight loss is inconsistent and unpredictable in the short term. And so Heather says, my BMI is 30. I'm shocked that I didn't lose weight. I get it. I'd say it's unusual from what you're telling me, but I'll tell you what is usual. I'm going to hit you right between the eyes with this, but you got to know this stuff. What is usual is the licensing effect. And the licensing effect says, okay, you start eating salads and you're like, okay, look at this. I'm doing salads. That's really good. And then you start eating more bullshit outside of the salads. So you started eating salads, but then you started making up for the saved calories somewhere else. That's most likely what happened, Heather. I know you don't want to hear that. You probably don't believe it. That's fine. But for most of you, the main reason why when you do the good thing, you don't lose any weight is because you followed up by doing the bad thing somewhere where you're not even aware of it. That's most of the time. The other part of the time is that you actually did cut your calories down for the last 3 weeks, but the weight loss hasn't shown up yet. Oh. Yeah, Heather says, "Oh my God, that sounds wrong. I mean, I think my eating has only gotten better, I think." You know, Heather, you're the one. Are you the one that tracked your food for a week and told me what you're eating? The French toast in the morning. Was that you? Let me know. All right, listen, folks. I say this out of love. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions, and I know no one wants to hear this because, again, this goes right in line with the dieters. Dieters always say, "Oh, I know what I got to do. I just need to get myself to do it." And this is an example of that's bullshit. You know, you're missing huge pieces of things. Yeah. Heather, was that you that tracked you the one that tracked your calories and then told me about it? And we talked about it in the French toast in the morning, you know? But, so anyways, though, let's just keep going with this because here's where the impatience comes in. If you actually made a commitment to your weight, like an unconditional commitment, you know? So what's an unconditional? What's a conditional commitment? So a conditional commitment is what most dieters make. I'll do this diet as long as I lose weight. It's conditional. I'll do it as long as the weight loss shows up. I'll give it a week. Okay, 2 weeks. Okay. So unconditional is I'm gonna keep eating better and mastering this until I get to my goal weight. I don't give a shit how long it takes. This is what I want to do. I want to master this. I want to figure this out for good. What a different thing. Because I can tell you, in the things in my life that I've taken on as hobbies, playing guitar, martial arts, basketball, the drawing a little bit. I run a business, if you want to call it that. But what I thought the timeline was going to be and what the actual timeline has been is way different. So I thought it would take me this long to get good at certain things, and it's taken me that long. And same with the weight and the health. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years. 30 years. So you can't just go into things new and, oh, okay. Because the diets, you don't believe this and you wouldn't understand this, but the diets have set you up to think about weight loss results in a ridiculously short amount of time. Honestly, you know? So we go into weight loss with really unrealistic expectations in most cases. And we bring those into our diet experience and then they don't match up and we feel discouraged. We like, something's wrong with me. I've been eating salads and I only eat dried fruit now for snacks and I haven't lost any weight. And I got BMI of 30. I'm shocked. So where do we go from there? Because Heather, what do you think now? What do you believe? How do you explain, Heather? And I appreciate Heather said, yeah, well, yeah, because Heather did give me the eating plan that she had, right? And so, well, yeah, but that was back then, and now much has changed. Truly, I believe, Heather, that a lot of things have changed, but I also know for a fact, I know for a 100% fact, Heather did. I said, hey, go track your eating for a week and let me know what you're eating. And she comes back and goes, an average day is 2,700 calories. An average binge day where I get carried away could be 4,000 calories. I said, what are you eating? And there was a lack of awareness of the French toast in the morning. There was a lack of awareness of just how calorie dense certain foods are, Alfredo sauces, things like that. What I'm trying to say is there's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of awareness. I'm not picking on you, Heather, but when I started playing guitar, I didn't know what a chord was. I didn't know what chords were made out of 3 notes in a scale. I didn't know what a major scale was. I didn't know what time, I didn't know any of these things. I knew, oh, I'll take this finger and put it on that string in that spot. I'll take this one. And I take my other hand and put it there. I didn't know anything, And so we got to watch out for this. And so I know for an absolute fact. Yeah. I know for an absolute fact, and Heather probably won't believe this, but I know for an absolute fact that Heather has a very low understanding of what she's eating, of calorie densities, of nutrition. I know this for an absolute fact. And she started eating salads, which is great. Okay. That's a huge change. And you started making a lot of changes in your eating, but I can almost guarantee you they're not as big as you think. I can almost guarantee it. And so I asked Heather, well, what do you think's causing this? And Heather goes, I genuinely think that my body is different from most people and that I just have to eat like one meal to lose something at all. Okay. So here we go. This is, have you dieters, give me some hearts if you've ever done this. You do something relatively extreme to lose weight for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. You don't lose any weight, or you lose just a tiny little bit of weight. And then you start saying, I guess I'm different. I either need to do something even crazier or I quit. Right? This is where we go to. And so the idea, yeah. So Heather goes, oh, you're right. Maybe I used to be like that, but now I'm very aware, Jim. Heather, we talked about that last week. This is exactly what I'm trying to say. This is it in a nutshell. This is not to make anyone feel bad. I want to make you crystal clear about that. This is only to help you all, because this is one of the most prevalent thing I see with dieters, that they think they're very aware. They think they see things. They think they're seeing things very accurately, and they can't make sense of it. When in reality, they're missing a lot of the story. I use this example all the time. You close one eye, look at your nose, you see it. Close the other eye, look at your nose, you see it. Open both eyes, what happens? Your nose disappears because your brain deletes it. Heather says, you're making me feel dumb, LOL. I'm not trying to make you feel dumb, but we've got to recognize where our blind spots are. I will tell you this is why working with a coach is so valuable, because we have blind spots. And we have huge blind spots when it comes to things we've been trying to change for decades or years. And so we have these blind spots and we can't see them. And the irony is that sometimes the blind spots are problems and sometimes the blind spots are solutions. Sometimes they can be right in front of us and we just don't see them. But I can tell you one of Heather's blind spots, and tell me if you ever recognize this yourself or experience this. Heather, it was last week. Last week, Heather told me what she ate. We went through it just a little bit, and there was all sorts of holes in her awareness. That's a truth. That was last week. And now she goes 1 week later that I'm a lot more aware. How aware can you become of nutrition, calorie density, your eating behaviors, your habits, your snacking, your quantities in a week? Not very is what the answer is. And so I know it hurts. I know, because it's not the story you thought it was. This is what it is for all you dieters. You think you know a story that should work and you just have to get yourself to do it. And you've been telling yourself that same dumb story for probably decades at this point. Heather says, I haven't even eaten my favorite foods like the French toast that you mentioned for almost a month. I think, Heather, I'll tell you what I think. I think your times are off on top of some other things. And again, I'm not picking on, and maybe I'm wrong, by the way. I could be wrong too. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm not some know-it-all. I'm not. But I do notice patterns. I've worked with a lot of people, and this pattern is one of the most obvious. I always use the story I use, and I could share 100 of these stories, but the one that always sticks in my head, because I work with very, very smart, successful people, very intelligent, overthinkers, very focused, motivated, all the rest of it. And I remember one woman especially, and she was extremely smart, very, very sharp. And she started the program. She goes, I'll do it, but I don't even know why. I don't know what's going to change. I eat really well, so I don't know what's going to go on. So I said, okay, what's the worst eating habit you have? I don't know. I don't really have one. Maybe I eat a little bit too much at dinner sometimes. Okay. I want you to pay attention this week. Just pay attention to what you eat. And she comes back the next week and she goes, well, I guess I found something out. I said, well, what is it? She goes, every night between 7 and 10, I go to the fridge multiple times and get something to eat and then go back and watch TV. Every night. This is a smart, successful woman. So what I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of times the things we're not aware of, like, we're really not aware of them. And a lot of this process is bringing to light things that we are overlooking or just kind of blinded to. And I would tell you, I know for a fact, Heather, I don't think it's been a month, because Heather, last week we were talking about the eating plan. I think that was last week. And last week, I had to dig in because she goes, it's 2,700 calories a day. I said, what's your biggest meal? She goes, breakfast. I said, okay, what do you have for breakfast? Yogurt and fruit and a little bit of cereal on it. I go, okay, there's no way that that's 1,000 calories. Oh, well, sometimes I have French toast too. Okay, that's fine. But what I'm saying is a lot of times we're just missing stuff. And now Heather comes and says, well, it's been a month. I haven't had French toast in a month. I bet that's not true. I bet it's been a week and it feels like a month. You have to understand that when we change our behaviors, I'm going to eat better. As soon as we start that, we start experiencing time distortion. Days feel like weeks. Weeks feel like months. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Is this the case for Heather? Am I totally wrong? I don't know. But I'm telling you for a fact, people experience time distortion when they try and eat better. And so you got to be aware of that, because all of a sudden you can't just trust your feelings and emotions because they're just wrong. Your subconscious programming, the way you're thinking about things, the way you're framing things, the way you're measuring things, the way you're experiencing things is off. So I looked up all the calories in the foods I used to eat. Isn't that enough? I mean, it is. It's not enough. I mean, it's a starting point, again, the diets, we want it to be enough, because what do the diets do? The diets are all built around the one thing philosophy, that every diet is one thing, right? Keto, you just have to get rid of carbs. Obviously low fat diets, you just get rid of fat. Weight Watchers, you just count points. You're tracking calories, you just count calories. Intermittent fasting, you just eat for 8 hours a day. Everything's built around one thing, because they know you're overwhelmed. But the truth is, if you're really going to master your weight, you have to have a comprehensive, holistic approach. It's like getting a degree in college. You can't just take the classes for your degree. You have to get other information as well. And weight loss is like that, Will it help to fill out the eating blueprint for a week with the actual foods and review? Yeah, absolutely, Julie. Absolutely. But that's the first step. People's awareness is off, and it's off in a number of ways. And on top of that, even when people track for a week, it's usually there's like a tracking bias. Like as soon as you track stuff, you tend to eat better. It's not really representative how you typically eat. When you write things down, even a lot of times you're not accurately tracked. I mean, just the calorie on the nutrition labels alone is 20% off on average. Just starting point, you're 20% off. And then that doesn't take into account your emotions, your moods, your perceptions. They're off, And so again, I'm not picking on you all. I had to go through the same shit. What I'm saying though is, it's not, you don't fucking know. You don't know what you're doing, and I'm just going to change it. Like it's not that simple. I'm sorry if that's what you want to hear, but I don't know that, again, hey, this approach ain't for everyone. I always say that. So it's like, if you want the simple diet, I'll just do this one thing and change everything, then, knock yourselves out. But I think it takes a comprehensive, holistic approach to master your weight. Because there's a lot of things you're developing, a lot of ignorance that you're moving through. I always say that. What I'm talking about is the weight mastery path. And I think the whole path is littered with our own ignorance, things that we thought was one way. And, oh no, it's not, and it's a lot of that, Heather says, well, okay, now that I think about it, it's been barely 2 weeks instead of 3 weeks, like I said, but it still feels like a long time. LOL. You see what I mean? Yeah, Heather, it's fine. And I don't want you to feel stupid like that. Please, Heather, don't feel stupid, because it's 100% of my clients. It's me. It's every single person I've ever seen walk this path. It's the same thing. You guys are thinking the wrong shit, and you're thinking things. That's what the dieting does. It puts everything to a black or white world. It's just, oh, just cut the calories out. Oh, just stop eating carbs. Oh, just do that. And it's like, it sounds so simple. Like every fucking diet, like keto, which is the goofy. It's like, it couldn't sound any easier though. Just stop eating carbs. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'll just stop eating carbs. And it's like, saying that is so easy. Actually doing it is a whole other story, because the other side of just stop eating carbs is completely eat in a brand new way. Well, that sounds a little more daunting, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. There's just a lot more to it, which is why, Heather says this. It's like, Heather says, I'm sorry, you're really helpful, but gosh, it sucks to face the truth. I get it, Heather, but it's like, and Heather also wrote, oh my God, I was also thinking could be the fact that I have insulin resistance be making it harder to lose weight. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. So if Heather's in her head and she's like, oh my God, it's been, and now I asked her what the time was, but I bet when she went in there yesterday, she's like, oh my God, I've been eating salads and I've been eating really well for a month almost now. It's been a month, and it's like, and it says like, oh, it turns it's barely been 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. That's not unusual at all. I know it seems weird. Oh, I'm big and I should lose weight quick. Well, maybe not. And this is the benefit I have. I will tell you this, is that weight loss, I know I always say it's inconsistent and unpredictable in the short term. The short term is like 6 months. I've seen people like get stuck at like lose 30 pounds, get stuck at a plateau for like 2 months. And then all of a sudden, without changing anything, all of a sudden it starts losing weight again. I can't explain this. I don't have the explanation why this happens. I keep searching for it, but I don't know. There's just weight is way more. It's, I will say, like, people think about weight loss because the diets have done this to us, because diets are all about calories, calories in, calories out, which are important. Don't get me wrong. But diets cause us to think about weight loss like it's a bank account, credits and debits. But your weight is way more like um it's way more like the stock market. You know what I mean? Like there's way more factors involved. It's not just calorie in, calorie out. Um, it is technically like at a very technical level, but even calorie in, calorie out. Let's just say, you got two people next to each other and they both cut the exact same amount of calories out of their diet percentage wise. Well, one's probably going to lose weight faster than the other. That's the nature of weight loss that a lot of people don't realize, is that it's very, very individualized. And so even those calorie calculators, I hate them because they really set people up for failure most of the time. They set your expectations up here. Well, you know what? No matter how they set your expectations up, they think of it as straight line of success. As soon as you hit a blip, as soon as you hit a plateau, it feels devastating. So again, I'm always trying to remind you all that it's always so unique, how your body's going to respond, to losing weight, to eating better, to living healthier, all the rest of it. It says, were you ever BMI 30? I can't remember. No, I was in the ballpark at one point, I believe. Let me think real quick. I never really, I pay attention to the BMI chart in the sense of like when I was, no, I was for around 28, somewhere around there. But yeah, but I appreciate, Heather, please don't feel bad. Okay. Because I try and tell you that the real path of weight mastery is, there's always walls in front of us. And those walls are your ignorance. And don't be offended by the word ignorance. We're ignorant about lots of things. My whole path is, oh, I thought that was healthy. Oh shit, it's not. Oh, I thought that was good for you. Oh, it's not. Oh, I thought that was it. Oh, it's not. Oh, I thought that was it. It's like, it's literally all those things. And that's what we got to do. Oh, I thought I was doing this. Oh, I wasn't. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's the same conversation. We all have to do this. But this is why I'm telling you, the idea that you know what you need to do and you just need to get yourself to do it is horse shit. It's bullshit. You don't know what to do. You're not aware of what you're doing. You're thinking one thing and you need to do another. You're thinking one thing and you're actually doing another. It's just that's ground zero of actually changing your weight, is changing your brain. And the main way you're changing your brain is that you, I mean, there's lots of ways to change your brain, but you got to change your brain because Heather just wrote, Heather, this is so helpful. I want you to recognize this. I think this is going to be helpful for a lot of people. I'm gonna make a video out of this whole thing because Heather just wrote, my jaw's on the floor, literally. LOL. I can't believe I thought it had been a month. That's actually crazy. Okay. Do you see what I mean? Now, when she told me, I knew, what did I say? I gently, firmly, but gently, like I wanted to show her it's probably not true. It's not true. I know it's not true because I talked to her last week. See, now I've talked to 100 people this past week, but I remember Heather, when she told me who she was, I remember. I have a very good memory for this, but I know the pitfalls that usually coincide with people getting discouraged in the first month. So it's not that hard for me to see this, but I want you to realize this, Heather. I know Heather's a smart person. And I know she's actually, because she actually, I told her, say, go track your eating for you. She actually came back the week later and I tracked it. And she knew her calories, she knew everything. So I know she's a sharp person. That's what I'm trying to tell you all. Just because you're smart, just because you're a sharp person, just because you're successful over here, doesn't mean that you're not pulling a bunch of shenanigans over here with the weight. It's not a big deal. It's normal. That's what I'm trying to say. But once you realize that's the problem, you actually step into the arena to fix it. Because if you're just like, no, I know I've been doing this a month, I don't try me. Because that's what she did, what everyone does. I've been doing this for a month and I haven't lost any weight yet. And now she's going into, I need to eat one meal a day. My body's different. I got insulin resistance. My body, no matter what I do, I can't lose weight unless I do something extreme like eat one meal a day. Fuck it. When in reality, she's been eating well for about a week and a half and she hasn't lost any weight yet. but the week and a half felt like a month. What did I tell you all? Time distortion. Time distortion's real. Fuzzy Plus says, hi, Jim. Since I found you on TikTok, it has changed my life. I was 115 kilograms 3 months ago. Now I'm 96 kilograms. Holy shit. That's great, Funzy Plush. Wow. It's the stuff, huh? What I tell you, I have the best life. I'm the luckiest person on the planet. Jim says, I've been starting to smoke every once in a while now instead of almost every evening, but I still tend to binge. Yeah. Well, I mean, the binging, again, Jim, just relax with it and realize this really is a marathon. It really is a marathon. And I don't give a shit. Even if you want to lose weight quick, it's still a marathon because how long you want to keep the weight off for? Right? Forever. So it's a marathon. But what you can do is you can train yourself to kind of run the marathon on autopilot. That's the secret to long-term success, I would say. But yeah. Connie says, I weigh daily too. Thinking of it realistically, all it is a measurement tool like your car speed. Yeah. Right, Connie? Yeah. It's helpful. Yeah, Fuzzy, it's true. The scale's not the problem. Humans are. True. Era says, lifelong yo-yo dieter at 79 years old. It's still my nemesis. I'm exhausted. I'm so confused. I hear you, and I feel bad for you. Any of you that are exhausted and confused about this, please click the link in my bio. Get the hypnosis session. It's free. Watch the video I made for you. It's free. Okay. Read the emails I send you. They're free. Join the PYT Spark program on Facebook. It's free. Okay. Got that group going. Just kind of kicked off, so hop in there now if you want to. Completely free. Go check it out. It's PYT Spark, or Program Yourself in Spark. And it's a group. I've kind of had it, but it's like I'm gonna be posting in there more. It's all about motivation, all about weight loss motivation. So I'm not getting into, I'm not letting. My big fear was dieters to get in there and start, the blind leading the blind. And so it's like I'm not gonna let people talk about, the dumb shit they did last week and lost 10 pounds that will be deleted. Okay. But we will talk about weight loss motivation. If you have real questions and concerns, I'll get in there and answer them sometimes. But anyways, that's in there free for you all if you want to hop in there too. I told you I got a bunch of cool stuff. I got a new thing. Am I going to do it this weekend? We'll see. I want to do something for my birthday here where I might give you guys a program I made. It's called the First 5 Pounds. I may just give it away. But anyways, get on my email list. It's all free stuff I give you all. What's up, Don? How's it going? I'm sorry, TikTok. Let's give some of the things over here. Cindy says I get very anxious when I procrastinate. That's a good thing, right? That's actually, as long as it prevents you from procrastinating, I suppose. Sometimes I get anxious and then I procrastinate too on top of it. Connie said it's like a full body relaxation, truly physical, and helps me tune into calm. Yeah, that's cool, Connie. I'll check one of those out at some point. Juan says, oh, look, another skinny person talking about weight loss while probably eating junk off camera. Juan says, ugh, I'm tired of that stuff. You have no idea how hard it really is. I will say this. I mean, Juan's being a troll. That's fine. I just said this the other day. I would never, ever, never just bullshit you guys and be like if I just ate, like I got off of here and just went and ate a bunch of bullshit, like I would never do that to you guys. Never in a million years. If you followed me around week in and week out, you would see 100% why I weigh what I weigh. All right. I promise you. I'm not a person who just eats a bunch of bullshit all day and weighs what I weigh. Okay. I was 50 pounds heavier 30 years ago. I was 25 pounds heavier 12 years ago. So, and that I put that 25 pounds on in like 3 months. So when I start eating bullshit, I gain weight. So yeah, that is not true. And I absolutely know how hard it is. I've done almost 6,000 probably weight loss sessions. So, what's up, Nikki? Nikki says, I just discovered your content is about weight loss. That's amazing. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Nikki said, I'm so looking forward to losing the weight. It's so hard. My problem is bored eating. Yeah, I get that, Nikki. But again, remember, it's the main problem isn't bored eating. It's being bored. Okay. There's a big difference there. And so a lot of people just want to stop the boredom eating, but then that just means you're a skinny bored person, and that's not that much better. So it's important, I think, that what are some things that are interesting to me, that are entertaining to me, that are stimulating to me, that are compelling to me, start finding those things and deal with the boredom, and then you may find a lot of the boredom eating kind of resolves itself. And then the stuff that does linger, when you're actually engaged and excited in life and looking forward to things, you're in a much better place to deal with the boredom eating as well. Yeah, I think it says because of the way I feel about it also. Yeah, I mean, listen, all of our behaviors flow out of our feelings. We feel a certain way and then we behave a certain way. You all know this, right? There's times when you're eating really well and there's times when you're not eating really well. It's the same knowledge in your head, right? You got access to the same knowledge of what you should and shouldn't eat. Why do you eat well one day and not eat well another day? It's not rocket science. It's like I feel good one day and I feel bad one day, and your behaviors flow out of your feelings. However, your feelings flow out of your thoughts, the way you're thinking. You don't just feel things. You think things, they turn into feelings, turns into behaviors. So hope that makes sense. Mara said fried butter is probably the best representation of American food. I would agree with that. It's so ridiculous. Nikki said, yeah, I've been using his sleep meditation for months, but never dove into his page. Oh yeah, the page is good. And Nikki, again, oh, please go get the, click the link in my bio, go get the hypnosis session and watch that video I made for you. It's really good. It kind of gives you an overview of everything I'm talking about. Nikki says, butter is basically salty ice cream. LOL. Yeah, that's kind of true, isn't it? That's kind of an interesting way to think about it. Okay, that makes me not think it's as disgusting. Savannah says, hey, Savannah, I'm 6 months into maintenance, the 114 pounds down, weigh every single day and write down my average weekly. Yeah, great job. And Savannah's awesome. She's a kind of a savant. She just kind of knows this stuff somehow. And she's done amazing things. Beatrice, it's a long game. Consistency and patience are key. Most people are impatient. Agreed. I agreed. Nick said I'm impatient as fuck. It's hard. Yeah, the impatience is hard, but you can go out there. It's so funny. I was told this story before, but I literally created a program. I'm a hypnotist. And I do general programs too sometimes, and I'll be doing more of those. But I have a program called Instant Patience. That's funny. So, anyways, I recorded it. I remember recording the session. I was so like kind of calm and patient. And I went out on a double date, and we went to this restaurant, and they were so backed up. I mean, we were sitting there for like a half hour, 45 minutes. No one even came over. It was like everyone's getting kind of frustrated. I was all calm and stuff. So patience is a skill, believe it or not. We live in a culture that's constantly tweaking our impatience. And especially when weight loss, even more so, you're constantly thinking about weight loss in terms of, really how much can I lose in days, weeks, and months, and I'm thinking about how much, you can keep off in months, years, and decades. So our time frames are different, but yeah, impatience is a process. You know what I mean? You can get better at it. Julie says, got really sick, lost sense of taste, smell. Wow. I learned a lot just eating only from hunger and health. Oh, that's great, Julie. Yeah, Julie's in the program. So she utilizes things. That's something we learn in the program, that if you get sick and lose your taste and smell, it's a great opportunity, right? To reinforce eating for hunger and health. That's awesome, Julie. Yeah, eating's no fun when you lose interest, finding other things for fun. Yeah, and that's the other thing. So Julie's, it's less fun. And so now she's finding other things to fill that void. So great job, Julie. Julie's doing so well with the program. I got to say, Julie, I'm super proud of you, because you're really internalizing it very deeply. I got to tell you. Tristan says, I've made my weight loss unconditional lately, and it's been so much easier. Yeah, and more exciting. Agreed, right? Once you make it unconditional, everything changes. I love this. It's my favorite Tony Robbins thing, but he used to say, how long would you give your kid to learn how to walk? Right. And that's such a funny question, because no one would say like, oh, I'll give him 2 weeks. Like how long would you let him try and walk until you cut him off? So I'd say, you're not going to walk, you dumbass. You embarrass me. Shame to the family. You can't walk. You're never going to walk. I can't believe this. Well, you'd never do that, And so it's just, there's no time. There's no endpoint on it. Is my kid's going to practice walking until they walk? And I love that question, because when you compare that to your weight loss motivation and your weight loss time frame, you're going to find that they're two different worlds. And your weight loss time frame is way short, way too short. You can't accomplish anything of any value in that short a time frame. So yeah, I agree with that. So I don't understand the impatience. It's not like you get back to eating like before ever. Oh, Savannah just dropped it all on you guys. Thank you so much, Savannah. Savannah, I will tell you this though. This is the benefit I've had of talking to so many people about this. Somewhere in a dieter's mind, they think, and I have had this conversation many, many times. I've had it with nutritionists and dietitians, that they think, okay, here's my weight. Here's my average calorie consumption. I'm going to drastically cut the calories down, get down to my goal weight, and then I'm going to bring it up to maintenance. And they think that they're going to bring their maintenance up to here. They think their goal weight's going to come down to here, and now their calories are going to go way down. They're going to drastically lose the weight. Then they're going to bring up the maintenance, which is just a little bit below where they started from. Yeah, I'm going to read that one time. Savannah goes, I don't understand the impatience. It's not like you get to go back to eating like before. ever. Savannah, I'm literally gonna take a screenshot of that because I'm always like looking for ways to say that. And it's like, that's so perfect. And I like that you say that because I know all the dieters get deflated when they hear that. It's like when I say, the weight mastery is a never ending marathon. Oh, right. But it's like, yeah, if you want to live at a lower weight, see, so dieting is a bunch of bullshit. And one of the core reasons why is this idea that you're going to take your average calories you eat and your average weight, you're going to drastically cut the calories out. So let's say you're 200 pounds and you want to lose 50 pounds. So calorie wise, we're talking about 25%. But when people go on a diet, they tend to drop 50, 70% of their calories, right? Because they're impatient. And so now you get to your goal weight and now we're going to magically bring up this maintenance. No one does that, by the way. 95% of people fail with it. So me and Program Yourself Thin, I said, hey, let's cut a little bit of calories down, let your weight come down. Cut a couple more calories down, let your weight come down. Let's get down your goal weight. The whole time, Program Yourself Thin is about living at your goal weight. Dieting is about losing weight as fast as you can, and then the maintenance is an afterthought. But yeah, Savannah, that's such a great point, because what most dieters are walking around is some fantasy that they're going to drastically cut the calories for a little while, and then they're going to bring their calories back up, but their body's going to have changed somehow magically. It's very weird. Very weird. I'm so glad you said that. Lori says, everything you say makes so much sense. I really appreciate and enjoy listening to you. Well, thank you, Lori. I appreciate you saying that. What's up, Tabitha? Yeah. Savannah says, yeah, because Nikki said, I know it's the worst. And Savannah said, once you do it for so long, it won't be the worst. I promise. Stick it out. Change my life. Yeah. Everything's relative, folks. You get used to a new normal. You normalize. You just get used to a new normal. I don't miss all the shit I don't eat anymore at all. I never think about it. But I think that's why you got to fill your spaces up with other things that are actually interesting to you. Yeah, Jennifer says, acknowledging that in order to live at one's goal weight is both liberating and sad at the same time. Such an odd mix of feelings. I agree. It's why in Program Yourself Thin we talk about everything's good and bad. Weight loss is good and bad. It's good and bad. And not just the dieting piece of it, but it's bad in the sense, like, it's good because obviously you get to weigh your goal weight and you're healthier and happier and all those good things. But it's bad because you give up eating all the food, you give up your kind of crutch, you give up your your emotional eating, which is probably something that for a lot of you is a core part of your emotional management strategy. You give up on some fun, different things. So it's true. And I think, again, this goes back to the scale conversation. Me personally, I seek out these difficult emotions because I want to aim straight at them, because I found the time in my life when I was the least healthy, when I was 50 pounds heavier, I was a binge drinker, I was depressed, I was all over the place emotionally, just doing crazy shit, just self-destructive stuff. That the times when I was at my worst, I feel like, were the times when I was absolutely trying not to feel the emotions I was feeling. And so that's probably the biggest thing I've learned on my path, is that as I've interfaced with really unpleasant emotions and just stayed present with them, I kind of work through them. And that has been the foundational process that really, I believe, has helped me get to where I am now. So the scale is just another example of that. Like, I want those feelings. I want to face them though. I don't want to run away from them, So anyways, but I think, Jennifer, I think you're on the right path by acknowledging that, because once you acknowledge it, then you kind of sit with it and you'll come out to a better place, I think. So I hit 130 pounds today. The 5 pounds that I gained on my vacation are gone. I'm so happy. Good for you. Got to keep going. Great job, Tabitha. That's super. Yeah, it's nice when you do the vacation thing and you come back and you're right back to normal. Don, that's a good one. I said annual goals takes away the stress. Don, these people can't imagine annual goals. I'm joking, but annual goals really is next level. I would agree. As I've moved to annual, not even just annual goals, but annual, like a time frame. Like, I talk sometimes about structuring my eating, like for the week, like a clean days and pleasure days. I have an eating structure for the year now, that factors in holidays, vacations, different situations like the Big E. I have time frames for that, and that's been a game changer too. Yeah, Kelly says, I have to believe I won't miss the way I was eating, just like I don't miss drinking or smoking. No, agreed. I mean, you just get used to it. I'll give you an example. I used to eat Wonder Bread and Jif peanut butter for the first, I don't know, 25 years of my life. And Then I switched over to natural peanut butter and Ezekiel. And let's just stick with the peanut butter piece. But as soon as I started eating natural peanut, I was like, oh my God, this is gross, you know? And for a week or so, I was like, this is disgusting. And then I just, whatever, it's the normal thing I eat. But now it's so funny because a couple months ago, I was at my mom's and there was only Jif and I had some Jif on there. I was like, this is gross, you know? So I was talking about this yesterday that, you know, our human brains, we have a psychological immune system, and it calibrates to whatever our normal reality is. So reality is not absolute, meaning if like I don't always forever feel like the peanut butter is not as good as the Jif. Like I don't, it's not absolute, it's relative. And so my relative peanut butter experience is the natural peanut butter for so long now that's just how I define peanut butter. And that's what I like and eat now. So exposure really is what calibrates your taste. It's not an absolute thing. That makes sense. And knowing that's really helpful. Myra said, the thing is, I realized I can eat everything by just cutting down instead of cutting out. Heyo, nice job, Mario. Juan says, troll, I'm being real here, man. Especially while being a man in your 40s, just like me, it's hard to lose weight at this age, Jim. I mean, I just thought you're a troll because you just make assumptions. But yeah, being a man in your 40s, just like me, it's hard to lose weight. I mean, to be honest, it's so funny. What do you women think about that, right? Women always think it's super easy for men, and it typically is easier for men than it is for women. But I don't disagree that losing weight is difficult. My whole life's built around helping people do it. So it's difficult, and I help really smart, intelligent people do it. So I get it's challenging, but I would bet Juan $1 million that the way you're trying to lose weight is goofy, I'll say. So you're making it harder on yourself than it needs to be. I could almost guarantee. But I would suggest that, if you see someone like me, well, you're just assuming that I just eat bullshit and I'm just bullshitting out here. But if you believe that I was telling you the truth, I have completely transformed how I eat and how I live and how I think. And I've systematized all that knowledge. So I promise you, I do not I don't even eat processed food. I mean, like I would never, you don't know that. I mean, why would anyone believe me? I mean, people lie all the time, but for whatever it's worth, I never ever would do that. If I just never had any issues with food, this probably is not what I would be doing. Plus, if that's what I was doing, I would be selling a diet anyways. I would not be selling Program Yourself Thin. Because Program Yourself Thin is one of the hardest things in the world to sell, because people just want diets, and so anyways. Connie says, going to try guided meditation tonight while using it. Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting. That'll be interesting. Let me know how that goes, Connie. I'm curious. Lady Boo says, time's going to pass anyway. Absolutely. Can think by Xmas, you could be 2.5 stone lighter or heavier, decide. Yeah, agreed. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, the time is passing, so again, but imagine this, dieters. Imagine that you could be in the game, but not 100%. Crazy, right? One says, okay, sorry for assuming, but what do you eat then? The biggest shift in my eating has been a shift to more whole natural foods, but even before that, because I like to meet people where they're at, right? So what I'd suggest, one says, I've been trying to lose weight since 20 years old. What have you tried to do, Juan? I'm going to guess keto. Guys always do keto and paleo. It's probably it's the manliest diet, I'd say. Is it keto and paleo? What have you done, Juan? Let me know. And make sure that you go and get the hypnosis session in my bio, because then there's a video that'll help you with that. Yes, guys always do carnivore, right? Carnivore, keto, paleo, right? That's the norm for guys. I always get who is it? Dylan pops in here sometimes, and I don't care, because he just says the quiet part out loud, because I'm a vegetarian. Well, I'm pescatarian, but real men eat meat. That's a big common thing. But it's not just real men eat. Oh, Ladybug, I'm not eating good, wholesome, nutritious food and fasting. One says, I can't tell if you like making fun of people, but no, I just tried going vegan actually, and then counted calories and also intermittent fasting. Um, no, I don't like making fun of people. Okay, that's a lie. I do like making fun of people. It's true, but I like helping people more. It's true. Um, but I don't. I really I take this real serious. Just to be real serious for a second. My father died of a heart attack at 54. Right, he was obese and he knew he had a heart issue, but he it was at 1984. So I'm not gonna, you know what I mean. So it's like it is what it is. But for me, weight's always been life or death. You know, and so I mean I dedicate my life to this. I'm here every day. You could pop in here every day at noontime and I will literally coach you for free. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy to help anyone that hops on here and I'll just share my point of view. Hey, a lot of people don't like my point of view. That's fine too. But I do this literally. I've done almost 400 episodes of this. You know, so I've been doing this professionally for 20 years. So I really, I do like making fun of people, it turns out, but I do it in a loving way. I do it in a way that I want to help people move forward. And I make fun of most of the time people relying on dieting. You know what I mean? So yeah, but anyways, so does TikTok pay you a lot? It is a lot. No, they don't pay me a lot. TikTok doesn't pay anything. So, you know, it's funny, but I'm on all the different media sites right now. I live stream to all of these and then I put the podcast up as Program Yourself then. So you can listen to those if you ever choose to put videos all the time. But so anyways, this is a mission for me. You know what I mean? Like it really, truly is. My mission in life is to help as many people as possible live at their goal weight. But the main thing in front of me preventing me from doing that is the diet mindset people have is the primary thing. And the reason people have diet mindsets is because everyone thinks like a dieter and dieters don't lose weight. Why? Because diets aren't there to help you lose weight. Diets are owned by the big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company owns Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Cinnabon. Slim Fast owned by the same company owns Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So these companies buy the diets and then fill your head with rocks. And they're all bullshit ways to lose weight. We know this because diets have an estimated 95% failure rate. What's your rate been? What has everyone you know's rate been losing weight on a diet? It's bad. 72% of the population at this point is overweight or obese. So something's going on, you know, and it's not just the food, although that's a huge part of it. But it's mostly what's going on in our heads. And so my approach is a much more holistic approach. We follow the weight mastery pyramid, mindset, lifestyle, eating to change your body for good. And then the other piece is the goal that we're aiming after. With dieting, the goal is how can I lose weight as fast as possible? So with dieting, the goal is I want to get to my goal weight. With weight mastery and Program Yourself, then the goal is to live at your goal weight. So my goal for you is not just to lose weight. I want you to lose weight and then live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. That's my goal. And in order to do that, we have to do it differently. You can't just, I'm just going to change this. No, you've got to change how you're thinking. You have to change how you're living to some degree. And then obviously you got to change how you're eating as well. But it's a layered approach. So, you know, when you talk about, yeah, Juan says, wow, that's so true. I want to live at my goal weight forever. Now, don't you find it odd, Juan, that the last 20 years, and I know for a fact you've really been focused and thinking and trying, you've been obsessed with losing weight for 20 years. Don't you find it odd that you've never once in your life thought, I don't want to lose weight. I actually want to live at my goal weight for the rest of my life on near autopilot. You've never once had that thought. Because dieting's not about living at your goal weight. It's about just, let's just do something for a little bit, lose some weight. Let's just go back to eating the bullshit food because all the diets you know about are made by big food companies. And by the way, the big food companies are owned by big cigarette companies. Nabisco and RJR Reynolds are literally merged together, the same company. The parent company of Kraft and General Foods is Philip Morris. So again, it's a tangled, nasty web. It's a dirty, deceptive fucking thing, you know? So when I go on the diets, I'm really not talking about the dieters. I'm talking about these shitty companies that basically will kill us, just like with the cigarettes. They don't give a fuck, you know? So here we are. But here you are, Juan. It's like you've never once had that goal that, no, I want to live at my goal weight. And if you did, that would be a transformational goal shift for you. Why? Because getting to your goal weight is a temporary thing, right? Getting to your goal weight, it's like, oh, I'll just change how I eat for a little while. I'll get to my goal weight. So you can do any fucking diet for a little while, but it's not built for long term. living at my goal weight, well, that's gonna be a different strategy. It's got a different time frame. And remember, it's not just Juan says, yeah, it's very odd and dumb, honestly. It's not dumb. It's not dumb. Our brains don't just naturally come up with this stuff. That's what I'm trying to say to you all. As a hypnotist, again, hypnosis it really helps you understand how your mind works. But you've been conditioned in ways that you can't even appreciate. Your whole life, my whole life, we've been inundated with diet marketing. We've all been exposed to millions of dieting ads our whole life. So it literally conditions how we think about weight loss, and it conditions us wrong. A lot of our, and it's not even just it's not, oh, keto, or I'll do that, or I'll do this one, it's not even just the specific diet. It's the concept of dieting. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why there's no fucking diet that's coming down the road that's going to fix this for any of you, because knowing what to do is not the problem. The problem is you don't know how to get yourself to do it. Every diet out there, every fucking diet, every weight loss plan is someone telling you what to do. You never, ever are shown how to get yourself to do it, though. And here you sit thinking, I just need to know what to do, and then I'll force myself to do it with willpower. People go to their graves thinking that. It's not true. You need to know how to manage your thinking, your feelings, your lifestyle, your eating. Now you got a real plan to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life. Because I tell you, I sit in front of you. I absolutely have to manage my weight. I can't just start eating. And again, I did that 12 years ago, 25 pounds on a couple months. I absolutely have to manage this, but I manage it in a way that it feels like you manage your brushing your teeth every day. You brush your teeth every day. Is it hard for you, or it's just something you do? It's just something you do. Why? Because it's a subconscious program that was installed in you when you were a kid, and now you just do it. Well, guess what? You can do the same stuff to yourself in terms of how you think, how you live, how you eat. So it's pretty much on autopilot. And so my day-to-day eating, my day-to-day lifestyle is kind of on autopilot, but it's very specific. It's very optimized. It's very intentional. And so I've spent 30 years doing this, but again, this is the strategy. And again, program yourself thin. It all came from studying people that successfully lost weight and kept it off. That's what makes this so different. You all dieters are just obsessed with people that lost weight quickly. I'm obsessed with people that lost weight and kept it off long-term. There's a huge difference there. I always say the guy who taught me the most about diets was a family friend I grew up with. He was a 400-pound comedian, spent the last 20 of his years of his life in a wheelchair. This guy was on a different diet every other week. Expensive shit too. And he'd talk about, oh, this one does this one and this does this. Always a different thing. But he never changed what was going on in his brain. You know, how he's thinking about stuff. So, yeah. So that's how it goes. Yes, I love your honesty. Well, thank you. Nora says, I like your snarkiness. It makes me laugh and challenges my diet thinking. I think you really do care. I do care. I absolutely do. And yeah, sometimes I piss people off, but small price to pay. Curveball says, I'm so thankful I came across your TikTok. I appreciate all your thoughts. Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It's always nice to hear nice things like that. One says, I eat yogurt every breakfast, so I'm shocked I'm always wanting to snack, even though it has protein in it, man. Yeah, I'm not shocked by that, Juan. But oh man, well, yeah. Then Juan says the quiet part out loud, and this is why I do. This is literally why I do this. I want to help people live longer. I do, but I swear, what's even more like really hits me in the gut is what Juan just says. I always felt like a loser for never losing. That's literally why I do this, because to me, it's about longevity of life, but more importantly, it's the quality of life while you're here. And I find you dieters are in this perpetual negative self state, like where you feel like shit about yourself. You feel, and again, Juan said the quiet part out loud. And I know it's worse than that. I mean, you feel like a loser. You just feel like a piece of shit. It's like your self-esteem's so low, your self-image is down. And I've worked, just so you know, I'm one of the highest paid weight loss coaches on the planet. It's $25,000 to work with me privately. So imagine someone who can pay 25 grand to work with. Okay. They're very successful financially. And they're always self-made people that I've worked with. And so these are really intelligent people that haven't been able to figure out that area of their life. And the irony is that as much as they have all the social, symbols, of success, that when you work with these people, you realize they feel less than. They're very, I'm blanking on the word. They're, They lack self-confidence. You know what I mean? Like they have a low self-esteem, you know? So a lot of you might not think that. So it's like, again, to me, that's the main part, is that I know a lot of dieters feel like losers. And what I'm trying to tell you is that it's not you. You're a smart, intelligent person. What the problem is that you're following a horseshit plan. And you think it's a great plan though, but you keep thinking the problem is you. That's the thing with you dieters, that's literally my main message, is that you think the problem's you, and you never think to put the blame on the fucking diet. You could be 20 years into it. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. Oh, I got to do it. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I got to do it. Stop being a loser. Just do it. Come on, just do it. But the truth is, you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You really don't. You got one tool only, willpower. All you dieters got one tool, willpower. It's not enough. You don't even know what willpower is, by the way. I got to get out of here in a minute, but willpower, once you understand it, you realize it's a real shitty thing to have as the only tool. So I'll give you an example, Juan, of willpower versus mindset. Okay. Because you think it's a willpower game. You just need to get the willpower going together. Right. But it's not. It's a mindset game. And you know this. I'm going to assume you're a non-smoker. And if you're a non-smoker, it's not because you're fighting cravings all day with your willpower, saying, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to smoke today. I'm not going to smoke. You don't even have any cravings for cigarettes. Why? Because your mindset around cigarettes is it doesn't generate cravings. You think they're gross. They're disgusting. They're out of your awareness. They're not even part of your life. So you don't have to have willpower to fight against them. Your mindset does all the heavy lifting with them. So it can be the same thing with the food. It can be the same thing with your behaviors. You think about shit all backwards and you think willpower is going to overcome all that forever. It's not. The real answer is to change the way you think, to think like a thin, healthy person and not rely only on willpower. You use willpower a little bit. I'm not saying you don't use any willpower, but that's not the only thing we're using. Hope that makes sense. One says, "Wow, man, you changed the way I think. I'm literally, I'm shocked right now. You're a genius. I never thought about it like that." Well, thank you, Juan. You explain it perfectly. My whole family always comments on it, and I regret ever saying I'm trying to lose weight now because now I overthink it. I think they all judge me and talk about it while I'm not there. But I can't understand the yogurt thing. Can you help, Jim? Yeah. There's a KT. Yep. KT knows. Yep. Lack of filling fiber, add some, and it should help. Yep. Plus, on top of that, Juan, I don't even know what your yogurt is. You know what I mean? Like, what's the yogurt you're eating? Because I get this all the time. Oh, the yogurt's good. As what's the yogurt? And it's the bullshit. It's the bullshit yogurt with basically it's a parfait. That's a sundae. You know what I mean? So you gotta watch out. How much sugar's in it? If it's the fruit one on the bottom, ooh, watch out. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of yogurt you're consuming, but there's always answers is what I'm saying, So in Program Yourself Thin, for example, just to give you an example of what I mean, in Program Yourself Thin, we manage our hunger, So a big part of figuring out our eating blueprint is figuring out what can I eat at lunch that comfortably gets me to or what can I eat at breakfast that comfortably gets me to lunch? We don't go, oh my God, I got my breakfast and I eat it. I'm fucking starving an hour later and I can't control myself and I got to stop eating until lunch. No way. We go, oh wait, let's focus on breakfast. Let's get that locked in. So whatever you're eating, you relatively enjoy, it's relatively easy to make, and it satisfies you. Satiety is the name of the game. Yeah, Dan has a good idea. Add berries, maybe banana. Yep, those can help too. It's plain vanilla, but no sugar added. It says, okay, great. Sometimes I add fruit. Yep, Greek yogurt. No, not Greek. Yeah, so that's great. I mean, at least it's no sugar added, plain vanilla. That's sounding good so far. Okay, so that's a good starting point. But yogurt for a lot of people is not that great. So I'll give you just a quick nutrition tip for all of you. The number one thing stripped from our diet is fiber. Fiber is more important than protein for most people in this environment because I'm sure, Juan, you're getting plenty of protein, I'm going to guess. But I can almost guarantee you're not getting enough fiber. Almost no one gets enough fiber because no one eats enough fruits and vegetables, But fiber is the number one thing that's been stripped from our diets. And fiber is the number one thing that's going to make you feel satisfied and satiated throughout the day. So yeah, Greek yogurt's not going to do it. What do I have for breakfast? On my clean days, Monday through Friday, I got to understand my superpowers. I can eat the same thing every day. So my breakfast is I'll eat Ezekiel bread. I'll have a piece of Ezekiel toast, which is special bread. It's not made with flour. It's made with sprouted grains. Okay. So it's a lot more satiating and slower absorption. I'll have natural peanut butter on that. And then I'll usually have an apple with some natural peanut butter and then a bunch of water. So that's a typical breakfast for me, you know. A clean day is, there's clean and pleasure days. And I don't like to talk about these too much because there's a lot to it and I don't like to confuse people, but basically a clean day is, a day where, again, my definition is that I'm looking to really reduce as much as possible flour, sugar, processed foods. That's kind of my intention. And so on my clean days, I'm really looking to be as optimal as I can be. Now it doesn't, yesterday was a clean day and I went to the fair and ate a bunch of bullshit, but a typical clean day, I'm eating no flour, no sugar virtually, and very, very little, if zero processed food. I'm really putting a whole natural food. Yeah, yeah. Fair enough, Juan. Yeah, Juan says, "Oh my God, Ezekiel bread is so bitter." I'm amazed you like that bread. I did not like it when I first started eating. I was like, "This is awful. This is like, you know." I always joke. What is it? It's like breadcrumbs. Or it's no, not breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs would be great. It's like a piece of cardboard that got shredded up on top of a burlap sack, with some twigs put on top of it and some leaves on top of that. It's like I thought it was gross. But I toast it. I like it toasted. And you just get used to it. You know what I mean? Now, again, maybe you wouldn't get used to it. Maybe you'd hate it and don't want to eat that, then find a different thing. I have heard Ezekiel's, their English muffins, I heard are really good, like a lot more English muffiny, than that. Yeah, Deanna says that, struggling with the Ezekiel bread. Yeah, again, that's something, and that, hey, that's a real thing. The real differences with people typically weight-wise is not that they have some magic metabolism where they can eat 5,000 calories and they're just thin. It's usually the differences are in terms of hunger signaling, flavor profiles, different things like that. So, like I can drink bitter coffee. I drink bitter beer. And so maybe that sets me up to enjoy Ezekiel bread more than other people. So again, in Program Yourself Thin, the basic rule is there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. So that's why I don't even like to talk about what I eat, because who gives a shit? You know what I mean? What I eat's for me, and you got to figure out what's going to work for you. Now there's best practices to figure that out, but ultimately, you got to figure out what's going to work for you. And so, for me, whatever, if you like yogurt, what I would do is I would start, add some fruit to it. Fruit alone, you give a week or two of adding an apple, a peach, a banana to that. Who knows, see what that does to your satiety. Add some, I don't know, healthy. Oh, Ezekiel granola, maybe. Again, it might be the best granola, but again, it's all about decisions we want to make. But anyways, it's an idea. Yeah, there we go. Right. Don says my Greek yogurt with berries absolutely satisfies me and holds me until my next meal. Yep. Now Don's in the program, so I want to make crystal clear, even for me, some days if I had a shitty night of sleep or I'm stressed out, that breakfast, I might feel hungrier than I typically would. So your mindset and how you feel factors into this as well. It's not just a food thing. That's why, hence the pyramid, food's at the top, because it's the least important thing. It's the lifestyle and the mindset underneath it. So it is what we eat matters, obviously, but there's other factors too. But for Dawn, yeah, that helps her, One says, I guess I'm just a big back then. And again, it might be if you're just eating yogurt, I could see how that wouldn't be too satisfying. I would definitely want to put more fiber in there. Um, so that's what I'd be looking at. Yeah, that's right. It's great if it's the only bread you can eat. True. That's a good way to look at it. And that. I'm glad you said that, because in my mind, that's how I thought of it. That's what I did with the Jif peanut butter. I said, I'm not starting my day with this much sugar. I'm not going to start my day with a bunch of sugar. I'm not doing it. And it was like, that's it. It wasn't a choice anymore. I'm not doing it. And then once I learned about flour, I'm like, I'm not going to start my day with flour. I'm not doing it. And so I'm either going to eat this or I'll eat something else. What are other things I might eat? Oatmeal, smoothies. I used to have smoothies, although I had Ezekiel bread then too. So, again, it's up to each person. But if I hated Ezekiel bread, I'd find something else, And so again, it's not so much what I'm doing. Oh yeah, chia seeds. Yes. Homemade granola on top. Yeah. Those are things I'd be playing with for sure. If I want to stick with the yogurt. Yeah. Lots of berries. Not those stupid little cups. Yeah. Real food too, like real food, I do try to add some real fruit whenever I can. Yeah, well, you gotta go from trying to doing it consistently because that's a secret with fruit. An accumulated effect. Fiber's like that. You'll eat a couple days of fruit and it's probably not gonna do shit. But as you accumulate it, the fiber builds up in your gut and starts to have, the accumulated effect in satiety. So it's a big difference. And it says, I used to always think bread is bad for losing weight, so I'm shocked you eat it. Well, yeah, I mean, but regular bread and Ezekiel bread are totally different. So Ezekiel bread's all sprouted grains. So there's nothing wrong with grains, in my opinion. I know that the paleo people think we haven't evolved to be able to digest grains, but that's because a lot of paleo people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But anyways, that being said, it's sprouted grains. So it's whole grains that are sprouted. So you're getting the entire grain. Whereas flour really only has the middle part of they get rid of the bran and the germ. And then they grind it down to a powder. And so you absorb it real quick. It spikes your blood sugar very quickly. And that creates a whole cascading bunch of negative effects. But the Ezekiel bread is, it's a whole food, so you absorb it much differently. So yes, bread, I would not eat bread. Again, flour, I cut out on my clean days. So I don't eat bread typically. And I avoid it, so Ezekiel bread's different though. So yeah, chia seeds and walnuts. That's a great one too. Yep. Walnuts are great. Yep, yeah, mama says I could never eat Ezekiel bread. I get that. It takes a bit. It took me a while, so I totally get it. I totally get it. And not only I started with the regular Ezekiel, and now I worked it down to low salt Ezekiel. And I tried the no salt. I was like, okay, that's too far for me right now. But at some point I consume very little salt anyway, so I'm not worried about it. But I might do it just to calibrate my taste buds even more natural. But again, here's the beauty is because I have no time limit for me, I don't give a fuck. I don't care how long things take. So I can think in phases. That's a huge, huge benefit I have. Where all of you dieters have to change everything all at once, I can change things slowly. And that's very helpful. Nora says, I accidentally started eating macrobiotic and lost weight effortlessly in my 30s. Then I took back all the meat and sugar and gained all the way back. Plus, I'm slowly working my way back to a way that works for me. Yeah, Nora, that's great. And again, I want to remind you all of this, and especially you, Juan, that by the time everyone comes to me, they've tried lots of stuff. Again, I always get people I work with are very action oriented, very intelligent, always overthinkers in their head, usually perfectionists to some degree. And they've done lots of stuff to try and lose weight. What I want you to do is to stop looking at everything you've done in the past as it failed. It didn't work. Because I think that prevents you from learning a lot of wisdom from your experiences. And listen, when we do things, we always learn what to do or what not to do. And so if you can look at all the things you've done in the past and say, okay, that didn't work for me because whatever, how can I tweak it? And if you stop it, because you just put this, again, it's the all or nothing thinking applied to the past. Oh, it didn't work. And so you just completely cut it off. Well, some parts of it probably worked. You know what I mean? But some parts didn't. Keep the parts that worked and get rid of the parts that didn't. This is part of it. You'll love this one. So as a dieter, you're all or nothing, right? You're either doing it perfect or you're not doing it all. And program yourself, then we're all or something. We're always doing something. And when you're always doing something, you're always improving. You're always learning. You're always growing, always evolving. And sometimes you're doing all and you're doing that even faster, but you're always doing something. And you're always learning and optimizing what you're doing. And the benefits of that over 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years are dramatic, dramatic. So yeah, you too, Nora. So again, appreciate what worked and what didn't. And, learn again, this is just Bruce Lee stuff. You're either winning or learning, but take what works and discard the rest, and that applies to all of your past experiences. Juan said, I used to always think the less I eat, the better. It's a dumb thinking way. It is, but again, that's the diet mindset. Every dieter thinks that. Every dieter is fighting against their hunger, and they think the hungrier I am, the more weight I'm going to lose. But that's bullshit. And again, that's one more example of your zoomed in thinking, because you're thinking that day. But if you zoomed out on the week, you realize, oh, I get myself really hungry and then I binge. So again, in Program Yourself Thin, we're always managing our hunger. I manage my hunger I usually eat within the first hour. So I get my hunger up to a comfortable level and I'm surfing that comfortable hunger level. Even right now, I mean, it's almost 2. I haven't eaten in 6 hours. 6 hours and I still feel comfortable. I'm about to eat. And then so it's like, again, see, that's what I mean. Those dieters, you want to be hungry. You want to fight against your hunger. You want to use your willpower and Program Yourself Thin. We're looking to prevent a lot of that bullshit. I was going to say an ounce of prevention An ounce of prevention's worth a pound of willpower. As always saying, program yourself thin. So we start structuring things so it's comfortable. Not that you're fighting against yourself, but you feel good. You feel comfortable. You're centered, grounded. And in that place, you tend to make better food decisions, you know? So again, yeah, Juan, I don't know if you heard this, but the path of weight mastery, what we're talking about here, it's basically each step is another step through your own ignorance. So don't feel dumb, please, because we all go through the exact same path. The stuff we thought we were supposed to do, that's why you've been stuck. So you want to feel dumb. You want to feel stupid because it means you just learned something better, you know? And the regret can be annoying, you know what I mean? But you got to let it go because now you're in a better place. You know, now you know something better. You're thank God, right? Imagine you keep thinking the way you were an hour ago. You'd be stuck for another 20 years. At least now you got a chance, you know? And so you want to especially make sure you get over to my bio and get the hypnosis session. Watch the video. Definitely watch the video. And I got more videos coming out too. So I give you guys lots of free stuff. I mean, you always get in the program too. It's a smart move, but even if you don't. Mama says, but after toasting it and adding almond or peanut butter with an apple, it's super filling. Copying Jim. Okay, there you go. Got me, Mama. I thought at first you could say I could never eat that shit. So Mama said I could never eat Ezekiel. That was gross. No, I have to toast it. I still couldn't sit there and eat a piece of, I couldn't make an Ezekiel sandwich. God, no. No, I'm not eating an Ezekiel sandwich that's not toasted. I wouldn't eat an Ezekiel sandwich, period, but I couldn't eat Ezekiel if it wasn't toasted. That flavor is not my favorite. Could I get used to it though? Yes. So again, there's two of me saying this. I don't need to get used to it though. Okay. But I'll say a little bit, but that's great, Mama. Yeah. Copying me. If you, copy me is probably good. Probably, I don't know. You know, it's not a bad idea. Again, best practices are best practices. Everything I'm doing is best practices optimized to me. But I'm sharing my best practices with you and you optimize them to you, you know? Yeah. Deanna says managing hunger is the key, as way less hungry if eating more fiber. Yeah. Deanna's on the program. She's a smarty. And so she's figuring that out and she's getting better and better at it every day. But, you know, Deanna is one of my favorites too, because she had a dieting mindset and it's been really fun watching Deanna's mindset change right in front of me. It's just like, it's amazing. And it's the best part of my job is to watch people, because they're all smart, successful people. And it's bad information, you know? And when I watch that information improve, it's just like, it's so great because it's not only just the weight loss. Like I'm happy people losing weight. Obviously that's all I want to help people do, but it becomes like a better expression of them. Cause you don't realize, as I started the whole today with, is just how negative it is to be overweight mentally. Like you really think so much about it and it makes you feel like shit about yourself. And it becomes this self-generating shit machine, you know? And so it's just, I don't know. Deanna said, I'll try Ezekiel again. So funny. My mom has been eating that forever. Maybe we'll try the English muffins. Yeah. I would definitely try the English muffins. Yeah. Deanna says, yeah, so true. It's true, right? I mean, if your brain thinks different, you act different. You know, again, if you're a non-smoker, what would it take for me to get you to smoke a cigarette? You know, so that's why I can go to the fair yesterday. It's like, I don't want a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? I know what it does. But anyways, let's say I used to do frugivore diet for 2 months and I lost some weight. So now I'm traumatized from fruit. Yeah. It's funny, but it's the only time I ever lost weight. Yeah, that frugivore diet is no. Again, any dramatic diet, I say stop it, you know? Now I say as a vegetarian, you know, I used to be a huge meat eater and I stopped eating land animals. I still eat fish occasionally, but that felt natural to me. You know, that just felt like a fit for me. But yeah, that giant things like, but I was a raw foodist, you know, so that's right in the ballpark. And I learned so much from that by how extreme it was. And I learned a lot from that moving forward. I don't do it. I took a couple things that I thought were interesting from it that I found even just recently are bullshit anyways, but it was part of my journey. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say, Juan. Stop judging. So, I tried that and that didn't work. I tried that, that didn't work. No, you tried it and you ate fruit for a bunch of time and now you're traumatized from it. You ate too much fruit. But you probably found some fruits you liked. You probably learned some things about fruit, your hunger, you know, different things that are valuable. Don't let go of those. Tap into those and use them moving forward, you know, to optimize a plan for you moving forward. All right. Yeah. KT says that, yeah, if you dress up Ezekiel bread a bit, it isn't bad. True story. Santina says, yes, no time limit is a game changer. I'm actually enjoying this program. Oh, great job, Santina. Santina, did you get the email today? I'm so glad you said this. I was thinking about you and I'm like, did you get the email for the coaching call today? I was going to give that to you. I don't make sure I got it for you. Because if I didn't, Well, you can let me know if you'll be able to make it today. We switched that time too, by the way. So I was in the program, the coaching calls at 4, not 6 anymore. What's up, Shakira? Juan says, I feel very embarrassed now for being rude at first. I apologize. You're very helpful to me. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome, Juan. My favorite people, everyone knows that this is normal here. My favorite people are the people that are like most aggressive. And so yours wasn't even aggressive, by the way. But literally, this chat is filled regularly. It's always guys with the smart mouths. But it's always the guys that what do they call? I'm a liar. I'm a bullshitter. Everything I'm saying is bullshit. I'm just for the money. But they all stuck around and they're regulars here. So it doesn't bother me at all. I would have been that way too, probably. I can understand why you'd be skeptical. I understand it. And so I don't give a shit. I'm here to help you and I don't care. And you weren't even that rude anyways. Oh yeah. Don says, yeah, staying busy really helps not being consistently hungry. I agree with that. I think that's really true. Really, really, really true. You got to keep yourself busy. That's why I say, like, we have the 8 habits in the program, the 8 lifestyle habits, but the 2 bonus ones are learning and a hobby. Get yourself a hobby. It says, first time I heard him say my goal was wrong. Don't want to lose weight. I want to live my goal weight. It's so simple, but mind blowing. It is mind blowing, isn't it? It just makes you realize the diet industry has fixated you. And I'll give you the real spiel real quick. I got to get out of here. The diet industry focuses you on losing weight. And what happens is you code weight loss as a temporary thing, as a short-term thing that you're going to do. And as soon as you think of it that way, the next thing is, well, let's do it as quick as possible. And so you're locked in that framework. If I just want to get to my goal weight, and you think of it as being a short-term thing. And if it's short-term, I can do anything for a little while. And so this is how you predominantly think about weight loss. And so we want to realize that, getting to the goal weight is not the goal. It's the first step. But the real goal is to stay there, to live there. And that's a completely different goal that requires completely different strategies. So it is a subtle thing, but it's so powerful, very, very powerful. Yeah, mom was the same thing. Ezekiel sandwich. Now we're pushing it. Agreed. With tuna or chicken, I just assumed that's how I was supposed to eat it. Don, you're eating Ezekiel with that? I guess if you toast it, it's okay. Just not. Yeah, Mario says, yeah, I love seeing how there's always every once in a while someone being mean and then they're then realizing how helpful it is. That's funny. Okay, yes, you got that, Santina. Very good. Yes, 4 Eastern. Yes, 4 p.m. Eastern. So I switched it. We were doing it 6 o'clock. Now it's 4 p.m. And I want to make sure that's not a problem for anyone. So I'll find out in the next day or two. But I can't do the 6 o'clock one. I can't. I can't like stop working and then come back to work. I don't like it. So I'm trying to change it right now while I think I can. So yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern for the Tuesday calls moving forward. Cindy says my email says 3. That's a different call, Cindy. That is the PYT class. The class we're going to go through is at 3. The coaching call, which is it's a group coaching, whichever everyone in the program has an opportunity to do that if they choose to, but it's an extra. You know what I mean, to do that because we keep the group small. But yeah, that one's at 4 p.m. One says also one last thing. What do you think about looking at BMI chart to determine goal? I think BMI is fine as a reference point. You know what I mean? Assuming you're regular height, situate, you're not a bodybuilder. I think it's a fine place to start, but ultimately your goal weight is something you have to kind of decide. Like you don't know what your goal weight is. Not really. And so let me give you the definition. My definition of goal weight should be the weight that gives you the best quality of life. And to understand that, a lot of times what people do choosing a goal weight is they just pick a number, BMI chart, what they weighed when they were 18, what they weighed when they got married. They just pick a number, but you have to realize you have to eat and live a certain way in order to achieve that number. So we've got to look at both sides of the equation because most dieters are walking around with a weight that is lower than what they're willing to live and eat at. And so it creates this subconscious incongruence. So I want to weigh this. I'm not willing. I don't want to do that though. And they constantly have this back and forth, this tug of war inside of themselves. So we got to figure out a goal weight that takes both those into account. What weight would give them the best quality of life? Being this number is not it. Because what if that number required you carrots and water all day? Well, that's a low quality of life, even though you're at that number. So we got to kind of figure out where's the sweet spot. And so, the BMI things, as long as you're at least in the first half of overweight, health-wise, you're probably in okay shape. And then it really just becomes personal preference. Where do you want to be at between what you got to change eating lifestyle-wise and what you want to expect to gain out of being a certain weight. And so I wish I could give you a clearer answer. That actually is a training I'm going to make for you all that I'll just give you is how to choose the right goal weight. So, again, make sure you get on my bio, click that link, get in my world, my email world, because I email you every day. There's trainings I give you. I got lots of cool shit coming. I got really cool stuff coming, so get ready. But then I got the Facebook group too. So PYT Spark or Program Yourself Then Spark if y'all want to get in there too. Yeah, Santino. Oh, good. You'll be on the call. Great. Juan says, how much is it to work with your help? Wow, you think above 25 BMI is still possibly healthy? Yeah, it absolutely can be. Like, no question. There's people that are obese that are healthy, all marker wise. So it's an outlier thing. Don't get me wrong, but it's absolutely possible. And there's been a lot of studies that people, up to 25 BMI, they can have very healthy numbers. So weight and fitness, they're not the same thing. You know what I mean? Like when you get obese, yes, there's a lot of health issues, correlated with that. But from normal weight to about halfway up the overweight thing, it seems to be at that point, it seems more of a lifestyle thing. What are you doing, with your time, your body, exercising, things like that. But there's other reasons, the weight thing can affect things. How much is to work with your help? What I would suggest, if you want to work with me, there's two main ways to do it for the average person. One is to get the Program Yourself Then system. That gives you the three components you need, to really master your weight. And there's a $300 version, which is kind of a home study version you kind of do on your own. And if you want to work directly with me, there's a group coaching version where you get to work with me every Tuesday and Thursday for 8 weeks. And that's $1,000 at the moment. That's going up to $2,000. I'll let you guys all get on my email list because I'm going to kind of do one last push for that. I'll give you one last chance to get in there for the 1,000, but I'm kind of restructuring things a little bit. So that is going to go up, but I just want to give you guys warning if you did want to work with me, because again, those are the two best ways. But yeah, I think that go to my bio though and watch the video first anyways and see if it all makes sense to you. And then if it does, I'll talk about the programs and stuff, but, yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you guys. This was really good. It kind of started off slow, but it ended up really, really good. I really appreciate all you, especially you, Juan. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. And, give me a shot to kind of explain it. Yeah. The Kaja says, I've followed a balanced diet and be more mindful. I've only lost 7 kilograms in a year. Is this normal? I mean, it depends on where you started from. It depends on how much you cut. I mean, there's just a lot of other factors, Kaja. But get on it tomorrow and I'll talk about it in more detail if you want. So thanks guys. I really appreciate this. If you're not in my world yet, click my link in my bio, go get the hypnosis session, watch the video, read the emails I send you, join the Program Yourself Then Spark program. If you want to just get around some people and get motivated, podcast is Program Yourself Then. It's on all the podcast platforms. I'm here live every day, usually noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. So you can ask any questions you may have. And, and then if you're real serious, get the program and I'll see you in there. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a super day and we'll talk.